social proof, but how do we actually get it? So it's all well and good for me to say, yes, you need social proof, but how do we actually get it? So it actually sounds quite easy to get, but I've been in business for quite a number of years and it actually isn't that easy to get. So when you get social proof, I want you to make the most of it. Every person that I speak to and coach them on social media, I encourage them to have at least every fourth post as some form of social proof. And we'll go through and talk about that in the presentation. So we're going to cover about 9 different ways for people to start talking about your business. I counted them up this morning. There's a few more than 9, but you know, this is a good start. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Victoria. I've been teaching small businesses for quite a number of years now, but I practice what I preach. I'm in the trenches with you. I run my own businesses. I have owned businesses in the past and sold businesses in the past, and I keep doing it. I'm serial entrepreneur, I think they've started calling me. And so I'm just letting you know that, because I want you to know that I'm doing what I encourage you to do, and I understand how hard it is. I understand how tricky it can be. So I am, like I've said, I've got e-commerce businesses, I've owned bricks and mortar businesses as well, so a variety of different types of businesses. I'm also a Shopify and a Facebook partner. I've got my Bachelor of Teaching, which is why I love teaching the things that I learn, experimenting on my own businesses and failing in lots of different ways, and then coming back and teaching you the easiest ways to get around some of those hurdles. But most of all, I'm a mum to 2 teenagers. So encouraging your customers to share your business, it will allow you to generate a really steady stream of content. So if people are making pictures for you, you don't need to, obviously you do need to keep doing it, but you've got a great stream of content that they are already making for you. So if you wanted to have a look at some of the really good user-generated content, have a look at Airbnb and National Geographic. So if you go onto their pages, their Instagram pages, Airbnb, hashtag National Geographic, and hashtag GoPro is another very, very good place to see user-generated content. People just keep taking photos for them and they can use it on their social media. So such a wonderful way of generating lots and lots of content for your social media. It creates a buzz around your brand, and it creates that social proof that your products or your service are what other people actually want. And so we all know that people flock towards something that other people like. If you see a restaurant with lots and lots of people in it, you'll go to that restaurant because you'll automatically think to yourself, that must be an amazing restaurant. All the people are there. But next door, if you see nobody in that restaurant, you'll say, oh, there must be something wrong with that. And so having a lot of content and having a lot of people making content for you is social proof that your product and your service is good. So it's just a very, very ancient psychological concept that helps humans work together in groups. It's a very, very powerful marketing technique. So your customers will usually trust those recommendations from someone else over you trying to sell your brand. And I know that sounds terrible, but the logic behind this is actually quite simple. So the customers see, I'll just move myself out of the way. I didn't move myself enough. So the customers see what the customer's content is more genuine. So it's more real than the content that the business would distribute themselves. So your business reaches far more people when others are talking about it. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best form of marketing, and user-generated content is digital word of mouth. It allows them to do the marketing for you. 71% of consumers reported that user-generated content, and I'll say UGC, so user-generated content, reviews make them more comfortable in buying a product. So think about yourself. Do you go to a restaurant site and have a look at the reviews? Do you go to Amazon or eBay and have a look at the reviews? Do you go to Airbnb and have a look at the reviews? Even Uber, you know, they get people to review their drivers and their experiences, and that's user-generated content. So us trying to get those customer reviews are very, very important, because that's social proof. But how do we get them to become raving fans? So it's up to us. We need to reverse engineer it. So I want you to really, really have a very, very good think about this. Where do you want them to post? So this is knowing where your customers are. If your customers are on YouTube, you'll be wanting people to post reviews and video reviews on YouTube. If your people are on TikTok, you'll be wanting people to post their reviews on TikTok. So you've really got to know your customer, and you've got to know your next customer. Where are they? So where do you want them to post? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Google reviews? Where do you actually want them to post? So you have to have that clear in your mind, and then you can go there and ask them to post there. Okay, so where are most of your target market? So it's knowing your customer avatar very, very well. You can spread yourself very thin, trying to cover every single platform, but you'll probably get worn out unless you've got a massive team behind you, and that's fantastic. But if you are solopreneur and you're doing it all yourself, thinking about the place that they are at, and then what do you want them to post? Do your customers like watching videos? Do your customers like reading Google reviews? Do your customers like seeing unboxing videos on TikTok? So reverse engineer it. What do you actually want them to do with your product or your service? Do you just want them to send you a text so you can screenshot that and you can use it for your social media? So lots of different ways to do that, but it's up to you to tell your customers what you want. But before you start, do you already have content to share? So do you already have something that you can share on your social media? So has somebody already created that content for you on one of the platforms, and you can perhaps put it on another platform? So do you already have Google reviews or TripAdvisor? Do you already have texts? You can screenshot those and you can put them on all of your different social medias. So if you've got a Google review, you can screenshot that, or you can make it into a Canva post with a little testimonial graphic. And you can put that onto your Facebook, and you can put that onto your Instagram, and you can make it into a video, and you can put that onto your TikTok. So thinking about, have you actually already got this information? Something completely off topic. I do lots of different types of webinars for social media. And like I said at the beginning, I have been in business for quite a number of years. Lots and lots of years. I know the ups and downs of working with a business. When you get a really good review and when you get a text that's really great, not only do I encourage you to share it socially, but I encourage you to keep it privately. So keeping a Word document of your reviews, or people saying thank you, or things that uplift you, keeping that into a private document. And then when you have those bad times, and there are those, those times where you think, goodness, what on earth am I doing this for? Open up that doc and have a look and remind yourself why you are doing it, because your customers are there and they're happy with what you're doing. So that's completely off topic, but another thing, you know, I believe that, you know, growing business is tricky, and having all of these little tips to uplift yourself during those tricky times are good tips. Trust me, I've had to do it a few times. Okay, so let's getting back to what we're talking about today. So user-generated content. So if you've already got that content, use it somewhere else. The other thing that's really good, and I only just heard about this the other day. I got a really great tip about a blog. So if you're find her, I'll get back to you on that one. Find her directory, I think she is, hashtag find her directory. And she wrote a really great tip the other day. So if you do get your Google reviews, have a blog on your page and constantly a blog on your page of Google reviews. And each time you get a Google review, update that blog. So you'll end up having lists and lists and lists and lists. One, it's fantastic social proof. Two, it teaches Google and helps with your SEO to say that you're updating your blogs and your website is updating all the time as well. So fantastic tip there. Okay, so if you've already taken photos and they've put them on other platforms, maybe you can reshare those onto your other platforms. Okay, ask permission first. It's always a nice thing to ask permission first. Even though they have put your stuff all over social media, and that's fantastic, it's always a nice thing to ask permission first. Okay, so what do you want them to post? So if your customers don't know you're looking for content from them, they're not going to send you any. So it's like I said before, it's your job to reverse engineer this. You're going to have to share this message as often and as much as possible. Don't think you can do this once. You need to do this over and over again, and then you can set up little different streams and you can start getting that content from all of those different streams coming through. Eventually it builds up, and then that snowball effect will start coming and you're going to start getting lots and lots of content coming through. So pictures are one of the most common and most shared types of user-generated content. So perhaps they're going to be using your product. Perhaps they're doing before and after pictures. Perhaps they're standing at the front of your business. Perhaps they're trying on your product. They might be using your service. So pictures are one of the easiest ways for people to share. Video is better. If you can try and ask your customers to create user-generated content with video, it's more trusting for your next customer to see. It gets through the algorithms better than anything else at the moment. Facebook, Instagram, even shorts on YouTube, and TikTok, obviously TikTok's video platform, but are working better than anything else at the moment. So if you can ask your customers to create some user-generated content with video, that is absolutely gold. It's fantastic. And please don't use it once. If you can get this content from your people, reuse it in so many different places, and then reuse it again in about 6 months' time, and then again in about 6 months' time if it's still relevant. Okay, so videos show more detail to the user's experience. It's more authentic. We can really see what's going on. They can show how your product or your service works in action, so your customers can really see what's going on, and it creates more opportunities to connect with your content. So our text is the oldest form of user-generated content. So, like your Google reviews or your TripAdvisor reviews. We can repurpose those and we can make it into other things. Some of the longer pieces are blogs and articles, and you might even be able to ask somebody to do a guest blog on your product or your service. So there's a few different ways that we can do that. Even getting a newspaper article is a great way. So we don't always have to think about digital. We can actually think about physical as well, maybe in a magazine. So audio content such as podcasts, they're growing in popularity. I know I listen to a lot of podcasts myself, and this could include short form audio snippets, maybe a brief mention of your business or your podcast, long form audio pieces such as a segment dedicated to your industry or your brand, or you might even want to sponsor a podcast, and so they're mentioning your business all of the time. So we need to incentivize our people. Some people really love sharing, and that's fantastic. But when we're first starting to get our user-generated content, we might actually have to incentivize these people. So, like I said before, telling your audience about your user-generated campaign once is not enough. Trying to develop lots of different streams. And an idea is to try and perhaps create a coupon code that is specific to the campaign that you are doing, so that then you can see the data and you can see which campaign is working best for you. If you've got a different discount code for the different campaigns that you are doing, and then analysing the data and seeing which one works best, and then moving ahead with that one a little bit more. So you will have to share this message often and in as many places as you possibly can. So there's a few different strategies to get you started. Once the user sees other users participating, they're more likely to participate themselves. So again, that sort of mob mentality, going to places that everybody else is going to, people are more likely to do it when they see other people doing it. So you might like to create a contest. You might like to challenge your audience to create the most exciting video or a scenic photo or the most creative idea, and then offer an attractive prize. So it could be a vacation or a cash, it could be free products or services, and your audience will be motivated by the competition as well as the prize. So make that very, very relevant to your business. Make it something that your customers will really, really like. So there's, depending on your budget, obviously, and hopefully you have a bit of a marketing budget that you have allocated to your products or your services, and you'll be able to have a look and see how you can create some form of contest. I know there's a very cool one I heard of years ago, actually, of a plumber who on every place that he goes to, he gives them a rubber duck. And people post pictures of the rubber duck in different places and then tag his business. And then once a month, he gives out a gold movie pass to, the best photo from this rubber duck. So what an easy way of creating a bit of a buzz around your business, creating content that you can constantly share, and, gold movie pass once a month. That's a very easy contest. That's a very, usually for most businesses, quite an easy competition prize that you can give away. Another thing that you can do is do giveaways. So giveaways operate in a very similar principle to a contest, except everybody can win. So it's difficult to define a winner using a generated content type of system, and giveaway might be a better option. You can also give free samples. This is becoming less relevant because people are becoming influencers and wanting to get paid for their content. But you might have some friends and family that are willing to do this for some free samples. I've recently tried to do this and hit a bit of a brick wall. So I am trialing different strategies around this, and I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it goes. You can ask for feedback from your users. So you have not because you ask not. So thinking about that, have you actually asked? Have you asked for them to do this yet? If you want your customers to leave you a review or your product or your brand, have you actually asked them to do it? Have you sent them an email that can be automated after they've purchased? Have you set up that automated email yet? Have you set up the reviews on Facebook? Do you have product insert cards? And I'm going to show you an example of one of the ones that I do. Do you have product insert cards that go into every single product that you have? And then once you've got all of this feedback, do you then repurpose it onto different platforms? So if you've got it on Facebook, do you repurpose it to Instagram and the other way around? So this is one of the product insert cards that I have made. So this is for my brand, my company, Aussend Skin, and just having a look here. So this is incentivizing them. So this is what we talked about before, incentivizing them with a discount. So do you want a discount? So asking you to share your videos or pictures. Notice I put videos first because that's the first thing that I would love people to do. And then tag us and we will message you with a discount code. So firstly, that gets me user-generated content. Secondly, people get a discount code, so that gets me a repeat buy. So this is a two-pronged effect, two-pronged strategy of trying to get that user-generated content and then getting a repeat customer. And another thing that you can do, and I've just started seeing people doing this a little bit better. When I started looking at doing this a couple of years ago, it was very hard to find people doing this, but you could create a unique hashtag for your brand. A few people were creating unique hashtags on Instagram, but they weren't actually doing it very well in a physical form. So we can ask people to use Instagram posts and they can post about your product or your service. So you can have it on your bio, great, on Instagram. You can put that on your cover page on Facebook and you can ask them to create it and hashtag you, and you can put that onto your Instagram. You can have it in the mirrors in your shop. So lots of people love to take selfies. So this is a selfie. You can see this person over here is taking a photo of it. They're in a changing room. And so fabulous. They're going to take a selfie of something that they've tried on, and that's going to be in there. Last week I was in a gym with my kids. They wanted to see what a really big gym looked like. So we went there for half a day, and me being a marketing person, I always notice these things, and I had a chat to the business about it. They did this very, very well. They had the hashtags on their mirrors and they were backwards, so that when people took photos of themselves working out, the hashtag came up the right way. So they did this very, very well. And they also told me, and I didn't test this, but they also told me that in the bathrooms, they've got a selfie light attached to their actual mirror. So you can click on the mirror and it something happens to the background and you can have a selfie light in there as well. So they're creating spaces for their user-generated, for people to make user-generated content very, very easily. So they're really encouraging them to do that. Another thing that I notice here, this is just an orthodontist. So how fabulous. You get your braces off, you get your plate off, you want to smile, and then they encourage you to have a photo inside an Instagram frame. And they've already got these things here. So user-generated content, they're going to show that on their social media. You know, they're going to say, wow, look at my beautiful smile. Hashtag the orthodontist. The orthodontist can say, look, do you mind if I share this on my social media as well? And it's constant user-generated content that you can use. So another thing that you can do is do the paid version of this. So you can work with influencers, and trying to find influencers, you can find micro and nano influencers. Trying to find those, you can find those on Instagram by using that hashtag micro influencer, hashtag nano influencer. If you're a bigger brand and you have a lot more marketing budget behind you, absolutely reach out to one of the influencing companies that are popping up everywhere and start engaging with an influencer to get your word out there. One thing about influencers, always make sure that they represent your brand values and they have an engaged audience. So if you have a look at their audience and they've got tens of thousands of people on their Instagram and you think, fantastic, that's great, people can buy likes and buy followers. So please don't look just at how many likes and followers they have. Please look at how many likes they're getting on their posts, how many comments they're getting on their posts, and if they comment back. So that teaches you that they actually have an engaged page and engaged followers instead of just bought followers. You can also set up an affiliate system. So an affiliate system, people advertise your brand and they get a percentage of each sale. If you are setting up some form of affiliate system, it's a really great way of getting your brand out there because everyone's got a little bit of a skin in the game then. I encourage you to set up a different discount code for every affiliate person and influencer person if they're doing it this way as well. And then you can see which one is actually bringing you in the most amount of sales. So again, it's very easy to look at the data and collate the data if you have a different discount code for each one of the influencers or the affiliates. You can then go a step up and get a brand ambassador. So this person is going to be the face of your business. And you could have one or two, but I don't encourage you to have too many. So this person is basically a full-time employee or a part-time employee of yours, and they are your brand ambassador. They're the face of your brand. If you don't want to put your face in front of a camera, this is a fantastic way of doing that. And, easily your loyal customers reaching out and asking them if they wanted to take a photo of your product or if they wanted to speak about your service and do a testimonial. So you can have a formal contract in place, or it can be paid or it can be gifted. It's entirely up to you. And I encourage you to have a little play with the different strategies and seeing which one works for you. So what do you actually ask people to do? Once you've got this person, what do you actually ask them to do? How you need to encourage them to do something. If you have a very experienced content creator, an experienced influencer, you might like to just give them, not a lot of direction at all. You might even just allow them to be creative with your content, because giving them something may actually limit them. But if you're working with influencers that haven't been doing it for a very long time, or if you're working with people who have never done this type of thing, they might actually need a little bit of direction. So you might ask them to make an unboxing video, and you might even say, this is how I set up my camera for the unboxing video. Currently at the moment, I should show you a bit behind the scenes of my unboxing videos at the moment. Currently they're at my kitchen table. In front of a window that doesn't have any shadow at all. It's the kitchen window, so it doesn't have a sliding door or it doesn't have any screen on it at all. And so it gives very good lighting. And then I put down a piece of cardboard underneath it, and I set up a grip tripod on the cupboards at the top so that my camera sits very, very still. And I can see looking down what it looks like when I'm doing my unboxing videos. So you might even have to get to that stage where you are showing people and teaching people how to set up some form of system so that, they're not moving the camera around so much, so that people aren't getting seasick when they're watching it. And you might you might have to give them lots of direction. So just playing it by ear with them and seeing what sort of help they need. Testimonial videos are fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Please make sure that they are standing in front of some form of light so that we can see their face. Videos and photos using your products, showing them how to use your products, where to buy your products. You might even get somebody on board that says, I found this fabulous product on this Shopify site or this eBay site or this Amazon site. Why don't you go and check it out? That type of thing. So other people telling people where to buy your products, or even where to go. You might have a coffee shop. You might have somebody taking a video of actually how to get to your coffee shop and them getting a coffee and saying, oh my goodness, this is amazing, I love it. So photos and videos of them at your business and what they did after your service. So especially, if you're a massage service, you're wanting people to speak about their experience afterwards. So the benefits that that person has got from your product or your service. Always talking about the benefits. This program today, our webinar today and our time together today is brought to you by Business Station. I know a few of you already jumped on board with this, but it is such a good deal. It really, really is. You get professional expert advice that normally gets charged out at $150 upwards per hour. You get 7 hours worth, 3 hours of one-to-one talking about your business, 4 hours of expert webinars and workshops that we select that is going to help you grow your business. So 7 hours worth for only $44. An absolute bargain at the moment. And I specialize in e-commerce and social media, but there are brilliant minds in the team that can teach you strategy, that can teach you branding, that can teach you websites, that can teach you business software, that can teach you there's so many things that we've got. So anything digital marketing, Xero, accounting, Google, just email marketing, so many things that you have to do online. We've got an expert that can help you in that field. If you haven't jumped on board with this program, I really encourage you to register, even if you can't actually do it right now, but register your interest so you can start the process and you can start it happening. You do need to be in you need to have an ABN in WA, Queensland or Northern Territory. And you do need to be making have a for-profit business. So that means that if you're registered as a non-for-profit business, we have other programs for you, but this is a for-profit business. And you do need to have fewer than under 20 full-time staff members. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to come back to this question that we have here. Okay. Thank you. Where do you find your influencers? That's a very, very good question. So usually the influencers, so let's just take a step back there. Where are your customers? So your customers on Facebook or are they on Instagram? Because that's where you want to be finding your influencers, because those influencers then know how to use that platform, how to use Facebook, how to use Instagram for business. And then you try to find an influencer on that platform. So know where your customers are first and then find an influencer on that platform. So then if it's Instagram, you can go through and you can do hashtag influencer or hashtag nano influencer or hashtag brand collab. They tend to use that, and then you can start engaging with them. It's a process. Trust me, it's a long process. It's relationship building. This isn't, come and marry me today on our first meeting. This is a conversation, a cup of coffee, a meet and greet. This is a long, gentle process to do. And so I encourage you to really just have a look through all the different people that are posting a lot of content that would suit your customer. And then you can start messaging them and say, really interested in having a look at my my stuff, my product or my service? You know, are you interested in doing something? And also, there's companies that can do this for you as well. They're, you know, depending on your marketing budget, you can employ a company and they find that influencer for you as well, and connects you, organizes all the contracts, organizes everything. So there's a few different ways of doing that. Just checking the Q&A. Yep, on Facebook and Instagram. Yep. But if your people are on TikTok, that's where I'd be looking. Yep. I'll be looking at those. But go firstly to your customers. Go firstly to the customers that you've already got and see if they're willing to do some form of testimonial or product review for you, Google review, Facebook review, anything like that. Okay, I'm just checking the Q&A. Cool. Yes, women plus 40, that's exactly who I'm looking for as well. I actually reached out the other day to find influencers, or not even just influencers, to find people to sample my products in Facebook groups. So I've just this morning had some very good feedback from that, and I've got 5 or so ladies that are willing to have a look at the products and do a very honest review of them, and I'm gifting them those products. So yeah, Facebook groups is where my people are at, because my people are the same as yours, women over 40. So Facebook groups has been really good for me for that. Beautiful. Okay, so if there's no other questions, or if there's no more in the chat, yeah, Facebook groups. Yep. So I wish you every happiness today. I wish you very well in your business, and I really hope to see you at some stage. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on board. I really appreciated having a chat with you before we started, and having you here today. And hopefully I'll catch up with you at some stage as on the Digital Business, Digital Advisors Business Group. All right. Enjoy your day. See you.